it out to Redline. Oh yeah, that's pretty fun. So ever since the 8.6 first came out, it's always been my dream car, and I've always wanted to own the car. And now I'm at a point where I've owned the car for nearly 2 years now, so I figured let's go ahead and make a review on it so I can show you guys exactly what's so good about this car and why I would even want to buy a car with 200 horsepower. So if you're like me and the fastest car you've owned is a Toyota Camry, you're gonna love the 8.6. So I've never owned a high horsepower car, and since the Toyota Camry has been my fastest car I've owned, I'm not really sure what I'm missing out on. So for that reason, I'm not even gonna talk about the horsepower, since we kind of already all know that story anyways. What I will talk about though is how refined the car feels. So with it being a flat 4 boxer, the engine is longitudinally mounted to the car. So it's a really flat feeling car, meaning the engine is low, so the center of gravity is low. So you feel like you're literally on the ground. It is such a good driver's car. Like, this is one of those cars where paper isn't enough. You have to really go out and actually drive one yourself. But I'm gonna try my best to explain it to you guys just through the video. So when you're driving the car, it's so well balanced and refined that going through corners, it's just kind of seamless. I mean, how many cars can you do this? And it just feels planted. But you have to realize when a car is so well balanced and smooth that every single movement you make transitions into the car. So if I do a really slight movement with the steering wheel, I can feel it. So the suspension geometry from the factory is just amazing. So it's independent suspension with a coilover style spring. So the car actually has pretty much non-adjustable coilovers from the factory. So in order to really use them as coilovers where I can lower them, I pretty much just put lowering springs on the car. So now I have the car set up at the height that I like it at, and it feels a lot better because it's slightly stiffer tuned, but it still has that nice OEM feeling to it. A lot of people say it's not fast, but honestly, I think if you know how to ring it out to Redline, you're gonna really enjoy it. And with my car being an automatic, I don't feel like I'm lacking anything. I actually like it a lot more than the manual for a few reasons. So yes, the manual in this car is faster in a straight line, but it's not really faster at shifting. I'm sure if you're a really good driver, you can shift it faster than the automatic, but for the regular day person, it's gonna be really hard to beat the automatic as far as how fast it can shift. So when you're just driving the car normally, you can just throw it in the drive and throw it into regular eco mode, and it feels great. But you can put it into sport mode. So the car just downshifted for me on its own. I didn't press the paddle, and it does that all on its own. And even when you press on the brakes super hard, so the car just downshifted on its own. So I've got the car in sport mode, and you can hear I'm bringing it up to Redline, and then when I let off the throttle, the car holds its gear, which not a lot of autos will do that, which I think is awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use the paddle shifter, shift it into 6th. And so the reason it does that is because they designed this car to be driven on the track. And when you're on the track, you want to hold your gear. You don't really want to constantly have it shift into 5th or 6th gear every time you let off the throttle. You want to just hold it so that throttle response is just instant. So Toyota knows that. So they didn't just throw in a regular automatic transmission into the car. They actually threw one in here that's pretty quick at shifting and also is tuned very well. So the stock tune will actually allow you to pop mid-shift, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and show you guys how to do that. So there's a sweet spot to it. I find around 5,500 RPM it'll do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit over half throttle and see if I can get it to do it. Now that was only half throttle, so it wasn't too quick, but I think it sounds amazing for what it is. I mean, to be able to hear that pop on a stock tune is awesome. So being a sports car is cool, but how does the car feel when you're just daily driving it? So on the highway, like considering just the highway, I can actually get the car to around 46 miles per gallon, which I think is pretty cool that it's a sports car and you can still get good gas mileage like it's a Prius. But, you know, when you're driving hard on the car, right now it's showing 26 miles per gallon. But of course, I'm bringing it up to redline. So considering that I am bringing it up to redline, I would say that's still pretty good gas mileage. So if you're driving it in a mix between city and highway, you'll probably get around 32 miles per gallon. And if you're really lightweight with it, you can even get up to like 35, 36, 37 gallons with it. So one of the things I've always said, even on the first day that I bought the car, is I said I really don't want to ever sell this car unless I absolutely have to. There really isn't another car like this in the same price range. So yes, you have the Miata, but I mean, if you want to get a similar car to this that's not a Miata or an FRS, you're going to be going into Porsche territory, which is already 3 times the price of this car. So that's something to keep in mind with it, is you're getting a car. Now, yes, I know it's completely different than a Porsche, right? It's not mid-engine, it's not high horsepower, but you're getting a car that feels similar and gives you the same enjoyment for a third, fourth, even fifth of the price, brand new. So obviously Toyota could have just made the car more expensive and add more power to it, but that's not the point of the car, and I think a lot of people fail to realize that. So the whole point of this car is to get a car that's super fun to drive, and it's also affordable to most people. So pretty much I think that Toyota's intention with the car was that we're going to give you a good platform to work with. Now you can go do whatever you want to it, and it's going to be able to handle it super well. So I'm always trying to do new things and expand my skill set. So this video was definitely a challenge for me, but it was fun. So go ahead and let me know what you guys think of this video style, because I think it's a lot more professional and I'd like to do more videos just like this one. So go ahead and drop a comment down below and let me know what you think of that. But for now, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like and subscribe, because we'll definitely be doing a lot more just like this. We'll see you in the next one.